Greetings, citizens of the internet! You can call me Nitro Indigo, and welcome back to my extremely riveting Let's Play of Kirby's Dream Land 3. In the last episode, we completed level 5, Iceberg, and in this episode, we're going into level 6, Hyperzone, or I can accidentally press the wrong button and go to the wrong levels. In this episode, I'm going to try to make my commentary more focused, so I'm not going to just go off on random tangents, I hope. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin! To start us off, this here is Dark Matter from Kirby's Dream Land 2. Our weapon is the Love Stick, and this is a shoot 'em up stage. And while I'm here, I suppose I should mention that this level, the Hyperzone, is named after a shoot 'em up game for the Super Famicom made by HAL. As far as I know, it was Japan only. And I have a bit of a story with this boss because, well, there's something really creepy about not the final boss, not specifically this phase of the final boss, because spoiler alert, there are multiple phases, that's very well known about this game. And when I learned about it back in 2013, it put me off this game for 2 years because I got a Wii U in 2013 to play Wind Waker HD, but I didn't get it on the day the Wind Waker HD came out. I got it a few months before that, so I got this game and played it in the meantime. But then after learning about the thing about the final boss, I stopped playing it for a while, and this is actually going better than I expected. But then eventually I picked this game back up in 2015 and it became my favourite video game in that year, and then it was dethroned by Klonoa Daughter Phantom in 2016, and then this year I haven't really had a favourite video game, although I do like Kirby Planet Robobot. And also in 2014 I watched a lot of violent anime such as Fullmetal Alchemist, so make of that what you will. Oh, and also you can summon Gooey by pressing A, and he looks a bit like Dark Matter, and he also throws hearts at him, but I'm not going to do that because once you get Gooey out you can't get rid of him. I just realised this music sounds a bit like the boss theme. Ah. And yes, here's, ladies and gentlemen, here is the moment you've all been waiting for. The myth, the legend, Zero. There's a very well-known thing about this game is that this boss, Zero, bleeds. I'm not joking, like, you haven't seen it yet, but there it is. And because of this, Kirby's Dream Collection, which was never released in Europe, by the way, got an E10 rating for animated blood, and I got hit. He takes up like half of the screen. So if he gets close to you, it is really hard to get away. Basically, Dark Matter was the villain of Kirby's Dream Land 2, and Dark Matter was also Zero's subordinate. I think it's only really explained in guides and stuff. I know it's a bit bad to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about in the last episode though, so. Point is, this is Zero. I got hit again and now I'm on my last hit point. I might have to redo this a few times. And if so, I know what music I'm going to use for my speed up montage. And he also throws little dark matters at you. See what I meant? I'm not using restore points, by the way. I'm toughing this out like a real champ, as stupid as that sounds. Also, like, the reason I decided to collect all the heart stars in the first place, well, the original time, like, the first time I played this, I didn't bother collecting all of them because I didn't want to, I just didn't like 100% completing games at the time because I just couldn't be bothered. But then I beat King Dedede, and then I got the, credits that was the bad ending, which is just an enemy roll call, and I thought that was it, and then I felt really disappointed, so I went through the entire game and got all the heart stars. I've already told the story in my review of this game from like a while ago, back when I still used Windows Movie Maker. And now I use Power Director, which for some stupid reason doesn't allow you to export videos as MP4s. I'm not going to go on to a mini tangent in this video though. And I'm on my last leg again. Would GUI make things easier? I think so. Also, that affects them with where just a bunch of grey frames appear over the field. In the original version, it was flashing, but that's changed it because seizures and stuff. Even though this game didn't actually come out after Electric Soldier Porygon, it came out before. By the way, by the way, speaking of which, I'm recording this on the 9th of December 2017, and in exactly 1 week, it's going to be what I like to call Porygon Day, or the 20th anniversary of Electric Soldier Porygon, that episode of the Pokemon anime that caused epileptic seizures, which this game was, lots of games on Electric Console edited to prevent seizures, like, in the Boss Rush, which is what the Boss Rush mode is called, version of this arena. In the original version, the dots were red and blue, but in the Wii Virtual Console version, they're yellow and green. Doesn't look quite as intimidating anymore in that version. Although, yeah, I didn't actually get that far. What am I talking about? I'm not really sure what is supposed to be going on in the background though, because it's like the Hyper Zone is supposed to be a void, but that shade of blue looks a bit too bright. And on skin, it has that weird parallax scrolling lined things in the foreground to make them look translucent, except they actually are translucent. What am I talking about? And I'm still on my last hit point. I think I'm almost done. I really hope I don't take any more hits. That'd be kind of bad. I'm not really sure what the whole mini dark matter thing is all about, though. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, according to the lore, GUI is made of dark matter. Oh. Cutscene to the Hyper Zone because it's just so nice. Like, all of your friends came to see you off before the ultimate final confrontation, and it's a like very somber moment for a Kirby game. Even like, I've got to say for an early Kirby game, but like, not even like modern Kirby games have like solemn moments like that. This is a very solemn game. It's very much the 2003 to Superstars Brotherhood, because Superstars all the action focused one and it's all fast and shiny and stuff, and this is like the more slower emotional one, and I like the art style of the slower emotional one more. Like, seriously, what? I don't know, something about Fullmetal Brotherhood just never felt right to me, and I don't know what it is. I mean, it's really awful when your opinions on most of your things rely on je ne sais quoi, which is French for I don't know what, i.e. vague gut feelings you can't explain, you just feel like something's missing. But I like Kirby because I don't get that feeling from anything, apart from possibly Mouse Attack, but it's not that severe. Oh, hang on a minute, the love stick can destroy the blood. Didn't know that. made of dark matter in the manual, the original manual, not on the Wii U Virtual Console manual, because I've seen scans of the original manual on the internet. Yay! Also, I like how Kirby throws hearts and Gooey throws stars. Kind of reminds me how like the Star Rod actually. Also, I had used to have the 3D Classics version of Kirby's Adventure on my original 3DS that then broke for no reason, and I could just never beat the final boss, the first phase of the final boss, because I kept getting crushed by the auto scroll. You cannot get crushed by the auto scroll here because there is no auto scroll. You're just perpetually falling but not. You're perpetually falling but not. Nitro Indigo 2017. I really hope this doesn't take me too long, because I'm starting to get a bit annoyed now that I keep dying. I've seen someone no damage this boss relatively recently, so Gooey died. And I don't have enough, I do have enough health to create a new Gooey, because when you have less than square of health, it doesn't deduct any health at all. Again! And speaking of Kirby's Adventure, Kirby's Adventure started a trend of Kirby games having creepy final bosses, but this is like the one that people really consider the creepiest besides the final boss of Kirby 64, which is related to this one. So that's spoilers for that game, so that's the thing. It's like, Dark Matter, to be honest, isn't really that creepy on its own, but this is an eyeball that bleeds, and no one likes eyeballs that bleed, even if they are just ovals. Animated blood, and that's why it's called animated blood and not real blood. But oh my gosh, I'm actually doing really well at this. I didn't even notice that. I wasn't really paying attention to the health bar. All I have to do is mash Y repeatedly, or whatever you have your controls for configurations set to on Virtual Console. I leave them as the defaults because I can't be bothered to change them, and I know that if I do, I'll just get muscle memory, so that's not good. But I sometimes used to get muscle memory a lot with this game and accidentally summon Gooey when I was trying to jump, because the A button summons Gooey in this game, but in the handheld Kirby games it jumps. And then for some reason they did this weird thing where like Y functions as a select button in Game Boy games on 3DS Virtual Console for some reason, and like X and Y like also function as A and B for Game Boy Advance games, or something like that. I don't know, on Wii U Virtual Console, which is still a bad idea, but oh my gosh, I'm actually getting really good at this now, wow. And now this is the final phase. It's not very hard at all. It looks like an olive, but it's actually Zero's bleeding iris. You know, for kids. I just kind of like Kirby as a character in this game, because he just like has this like not really like neutral expression, but it's like a good way because it makes him feel like he's like determined and completely unflinching to what's going on. That is the thing about Kirby. He doesn't fear anything, and that's what makes him interesting. Kirby is definitely a very interesting character when you think about it, because like he's a baby according to the anime, but he just like faces everything without fear. But now that this game is over, I'd like to talk about the story. Yeah, it's not really a big story or anything like that. It's evil guy is causing problems, go and stop him. But I like this game because it expresses its story through gameplay, a point I realised after watching the really freaking clever video about Yoshi's Island. So, the Heart Stars. Basically, you get Heart Stars by making people happy, and all Kirby wanted to do was make people happy, and then this came back to help him in the end because their happiness helped him save the world, so he did smaller things for the greater good. And this sounds incredibly cheesy, but it works because nothing is said. And a lot of Kirby games have a thing where they have a plot twist at like the very final boss, and I normally hate that kind of pacing where all of the story is right at the end, like Cars 2, Fullmetal Alchemist 2003, Spirit Tracks, even though I don't hate any of those. But here in Kirby games, it works because the plot twist in Kirby games is that there is a story at all. And this first began with Kirby's Adventure, and then they also did this in Kirby Superstar. And now this game, and also kind of Kirby's Dream Land 2, but I don't really like that game very much, to be honest. It kind of just feels a bit lackluster, to be honest, because like all the levels just go by really quickly, and I have a really hard time finding the rainbow drops, but I digress. But like, the game tells this story through gameplay. Kirby just wanted to make everyone happy, and as a reward for making him happy, he managed to defeat the ultimate evil. And it's a real shame that like none of the characters in this game really appear again, because like unlike most Kirby games, all these random NPCs that give you heart stars also serve to make the world of Popstar feel like it's lived in, which is not really some impression you get from other Kirby games, because it's just a bunch of random waddle-dees and some other and the main characters. And thankfully Peach, Choo Choo and Nago reappear in the animations for Clean and Kirby Star Allies, but which is good. And I kind of hope that some characters, like some supporting characters from previous Kirby games, reappear, because the theme of the game is friendship, and Kirby games, as I said in the previous episode, have a bad habit of introducing random characters who never appear again. And I really think something could be interesting lore stuff could be done with these characters. By the way, I really like the last part of this music, so I'm going to let you listen to it. Aww. Fun fact, I was originally going to title this video A Story Only a Game Can Tell, or Could, I don't know which one's more grammatically correct, but then I realised that sounded incredibly pretentious. Now, I'm not too sure if I actually want to do the bonus stuff or not, because to be honest, it's not very exciting. There's not really anything in there that has... It's basically just like harder versions of stuff we've already seen. And to be honest, I just want to get on with Let's Playing Klonoa for the Wii. And then Popstar's 3 rings never appeared in the game again. The end. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to begin that Klonoa for the Wii Let's Play I just mentioned.